All right, well, good morning, everybody. As Juan mentioned, my name is Thomas Hester. I'm a co-founder here at Caboodle Home Solutions. So let me start by asking, does anyone in here own a home? Okay, more hands than I was expecting in an urban area. So for those of you that own a home, how many of you would say that maintaining that home is anything less than enjoyable? Okay, so most all the hands. Well, that's good, because at Caboodle, we're on a mission to make owning a home suck less. So maintaining a home is not only expensive, it's also time consuming. So the average American spends roughly $15,000 a year to maintain their home, and that's on top of finding, scheduling, requesting service, and managing 8 different providers in a given year to maintain their home. And the thing with home maintenance is it never ends. So the entire time you live in your home, there's always something that comes up, always something that needs to be done, and it's never ending. But what if managing a home could be as convenient and stress-free as living in an apartment? Well, with Caboodle, it can be. So when you live in an apartment and something breaks or something goes wrong, you pick up the phone and you call maintenance. They take care of it. You don't have to stress about it or worry how it gets fixed. Well, for a homeowner, you don't have that luxury until now. By providing homeowners with access to a similar type maintenance department and combining that with a convenient home dashboard, we're able to offer homeowners and yourselves one company to conveniently handle all of your home service needs. So anything from lawn care to housekeeping to Christmas light installation, we handle it all, the whole kit and caboodle. So by having one central location to do all of your requests, your scheduling, pay for service, you're able to save a lot of time. Our service team, by being able to consolidate down 15 different service companies into one company and provide that service for you, we reduce overhead of the companies as well as increase scheduling efficiencies and service efficiencies, which saves you time. And by employing that team internally, we're able to control the quality of it, and combine that with a relationship manager allows you to relieve stress by maintaining your home because you know that it's in trusted hands. But why now and why Caboodle? Well, the average home in America is just getting older. Service providers are retiring. Baby boomers are staying in their homes longer, and millennials are becoming the largest cohort of people buying homes. So what that means is homes are aging, the demand of needs on the home is going up. Supply is aging out, and people are now not able to maintain their homes because they're getting older, or they're millennials and they have no clue how to maintain them. So there needs to be a better solution on how to handle this. And all that leads to a home services market that's large and expanding. So this market's increased over $1 billion in the last couple of years. It's now sitting at over $650 billion, which is a huge market. And we think we can capture $5 billion of that on the Caboodle side because we're actually servicing this. So we're not marketing that's helping folks get these jobs. We're actually servicing the work that's being done on the houses. So with that being said, we have 2 types of customers that we service, both members and off the street or non-members. Those 2 customers typically are bringing revenue to us in one of 3 categories. So that's either through memberships for members or through recurring services, so like the lawn care, housekeeping for both members and non-members, as well as on-demand services, so kind of those one-off requests. And so we're collecting, or rather we're going wide on the service offerings that we have and going extremely deep with each customer, so you don't have to capture a large number of customers to get to a really big number on the back end. And all of that, once again, comes back to because we're actually completing those home services. And one way we feel confident that we're going to be able to capture this is because we've discovered how to profitably acquire customers. So as a consumer, we're geared and we're trained to search for an expert when we're looking for any kind of service. So we independently brand in the marketplace each service offering we have, which allows us to meet customers where they're at and bring them into our flywheel after we complete that service for them. And then a combination of convenience, relationship, and value keeps them spending more money with us and keeps them with us for longer. And once they're in our flywheel, customers actually recognize true value. That's because many of the solutions in existence today, customers tell us create new sets of problems for them, whether it's just matching them with a service provider or just managing a level of home service but not doing it themselves. And my team is comprised of myself and my co-founder, Tyler Wallace. we feel we're uniquely positioned to tackle this problem because of our combination of experience both in the corporate and the white collar space, and our ability to tie that together with the blue collar side, which is a result of our upbringings and unique experiences. Because truthfully, the service providers are the ones that are delivering the real value in the solution. Most founders in the space don't have an ability to relate to them in a manner that helps them to continue to provide that service. So to date, we've generated over $600,000 in revenue, launched actually 5 business units in the marketplace, 90 plus customer reviews, 80 plus multi-job customers, and we've had in-depth conversations and interviews ourselves with over 500 homeowners. So what's next for us? So we're seeking to raise $1.5 million, which is going to allow us over the next 12 months to build out our corporate team, as well as launch our key business units, which is for us now the landscaping, the housekeeping, pest control, and pool maintenance, in combination with fully operationalizing our current existing units, as well as build out our campus phase 1 and give us enough working capital to service 2,000 customers and generate $1.5 million in revenue. Thank you.
The bell went off. All right, cool. Clap. Time to clap. We wanted to hear more. Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts swimming around. As a sidebar, about 10 or 12 years ago, I connected with a guy in town. His name is Woody Chin. I don't know if you know Woody. He's similar company. He was, I think, the CIO at Dillard's. So. Interesting guy. I haven't talked to him in a long time, but same idea. I was like one of his trial customers to start, more membership focused. And that's where most of my questions would be, like just quick to touch base on good control of content, just as a point, if everyone didn't notice it in the audience or online, like really good job of not reading from the slides. Like that is such a key part of owning your content. Like he put really good slides up and didn't have to use them as a crutch. So it's just like a small coaching point. Good job on that. And I'd say like from here, like this content can really branch into 2 different pitches. One is more like partners, customers, I don't know what to call it, people that you want to bring into your business. And then the other is investors. So I think this is like good content, and you can probably now drill down into like a little bit more of the business model. Because as an investor, if I was looking to kind of dig in with you here, I'd want to understand more of what you guys have learned on the first, I guess like 80 customers, whatever the number was.
Well, we've got over 800 customers.
800, okay.
At a bank, but.
All good, yeah. So it's really like key learnings and what you're optimizing towards as you're trying to hit this growth curve. Because I think that $1.5 million ask, like when you're in that, north of $500,000 kind of financing ask from an investor point of view, what have we learned? How far have we come? Like you're setting the hook nicely. So like I would just spend a little bit more time getting tighter answers on that, because that would get me to want to follow up with you in terms of like, I think you might be onto something. But for me, it's like explaining yourself as either a marketplace or like something that's allowing that connection between homeowners and contractors. And that's, for me, the business problem is actually doing that in an efficient way that allows you guys to run a profitable business, so you don't have, I don't know what to call it, like a squadron of people running around in trucks 24/7 trying to, answer questions of the dissatisfied homeowner. Because at the end of the day, if you guys are the brand between the power washer and the homeowner, servicing that, it seems to me to be the business problem.
And uniquely to answer that, so we actually do the work. So we employ the teams to do it as kind of the solution matrix there.
Got it, yeah. So that would be something that I would say hit that harder, because I didn't catch that. I don't know, Lister, if you saw that. But I
knew that, but...
You knew that? Okay. Yeah. I just missed that part. Yeah, anyway, well, yeah, I just kind of rambled for 5 minutes there. Whatever that was, keep going, yeah. Head swimming.
Yeah, it's so tough to do this in 6 minutes. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I don't know that I could do it, honestly, but it's much easier to do this here, provide the feedback. But a couple of things I noticed. So 3 things in particular. I think the go-to-market, one of my pet peeves, like if somebody asks me, one of the things that are difficult, that you don't want an entrepreneur to do, is to say, look, I have this huge market. All I need to do is capture this little bit of the market to have a really big business. That gives me a red flag every time I hear that. So I think it's best to just not do that, because everybody does it instead of doing what they should do, which right now you can't do, which is say, this is how I actually grow the business and show that you can grow, rather than looking at it from the top down. You want to look at it from the bottom up and say, this is how I grow the business. To me, go-to-market is another element that, I mean, I usually say this in every pitch, that is usually understated in a pitch. And especially in a services business where you don't have AI, you don't have, you have an idea and differentiation. So the biggest thing that you can probably demonstrate is I'm going to market differently than everybody else because there's a ton of competition. The market is big, yes, but how you go to market is, I think, key. So I would discourage you from saying this market is 650 billion. All I need to do is capture 5 billion because that's really hard to do. And talk instead about how you capture those 5 billion. Another thing is you started to talk about the solution, the independent brand. How do you capture customers efficiently? But I don't think you sort of punched it through enough because I'm still came away with questions. So you said you develop independent brands, which is this slide. I don't know how that helps, honestly. I mean, like, yeah, you say how you do it, but like, I think there's something missing here, something I at least didn't understand.
Would you like me to answer for you?
Please, yeah, before I keep going.
Yeah, so the example would be if anyone pulled out their phone right now and you wanted your windows cleaned on your house, for instance, you would Google window cleaners and it would come up with a list of companies, probably 15 different companies. You'd pick one, you hire them. If you then Googled, oh, I need my driveway cleaned, you Google driveway cleaner. It would come up with 10 different companies. You'd hire one of those, but chances are every single company that came up on both searches could do both solutions for you because they do both of them. But the notion is you as a consumer are geared to seek the specialist, so you put in exactly what you're looking for. So for instance, if in that case, if window cleaning is one of our offerings, we have it independently branded as Soap in the City window cleaning. So when you Google window cleaning, the SEO returns better for us. You hire us as a window cleaner. We then branch out and say, by the way, we're part of a caboodle company. We do all of these things and serve it. So with every single service offering we have, it helps with the SEO to reduce the cost, and customers are now seeking out a particular service that we're able to bring them into our flywheel. And what we found is it's almost like improv in a sense where we come in and they say, well, what else do you do? Or can you do this? And we say, yes. Yeah. And then they're like, well, what about this? Yes. And you keep saying yes, you keep doing it.
So you're not selling the notion of a property manager for them.
That's secondary.
So but they're not looking for that.
Correct.
So you can't just say, hey, we're property managers for your home. Instead, what you're saying is you teach them, you educate them on okay, that makes sense.
You use that to drive them. So if you went on the caboodle aspect of the page, it's explaining the overarching solution. But as the homeowner's not seeking that out, we're meeting them where they're at.
I think you were almost there. I think I would have spent
that's
a
really
couple.
good. You just got them to get to the answer.
Yeah,
that's really what
exactly.
You just didn't click on that.
Yeah, it was just a little bit missing. The other point that I would give you some feedback on is the raise, and this is a point that Mark made earlier on the prior company. It's an experiment that you're running still, even though you have 600K in revenue, which is pretty good. I mean, you're starting to 800 customers, is it? You're starting to demonstrate some real traction. I don't think people are going to question whether there's that demand for this because there really is. The question is really how big can you get? Are you efficient? Can you grow a big business? And there's still an experiment to be had. All you said is we're building our corporate team with $1.5 million. I think an investor doesn't think that way. It's like you still need to hook me in. What is it that I need to see? You want to try to answer the question that we would have, which is, what do we need to see to sort of buy in and say you're convinced? And there's an experiment in there probably, and this is what $1.5 million is going to buy you. Typically, early stage is that way, right? There's a hypothesis that you're testing. Can I grow quickly enough? Can I bring my margins up? Can I get my customer acquisition cost to a particular number that is, that can really take off? And comparing yourself with the competition with some of those metrics, maybe. If you can do that, I think you have a much more clear value proposition, an investment proposition.
Yeah, just to drill on that, like a framework that I would use which actually we steal from the agile software development world, is build, test, learn, optimize. Like, here's what we've built. Here's what I'm going to continue to build and test with this $1.5 million. And if we're testing business model or technology to make the business more profitable, within a year to 18 months, we think we'll learn the following things. It's like, here's what we're building, here's what we're testing against. Even with 600,000, 5 million in revenue, we've had the same conversations with companies right now. Yeah. Oof. Rolling vans, rolling trucks, swinging hammers, really expensive, right? So that's the other thing is like I have one investment now in solar developer, residential solar developer, and it's like all the grinding is on like efficiencies in rolling trucks and swinging hammers, right? So it's like you want to get me comfortable there, but you also need to kind of come back to why you guys are working on something interesting. And maybe you start with that acquisition model more up front and like get the investor hooked that way. Yeah. Very cool.
Thank you.